So on this side of my face, I'm going to be using brushes, and on this side of my face, I'm just going to be using my fingertips. And I will be showing you the difference of how it looks and why it's important to use makeup brushes. So let's just get started. So first, starting with my finger side, just taking some foundation, and I'm just going to rub it in my hands, and just going to first pat it on my skin, and then just rub it in. So I'm just going to put on a little bit more. And as you can see, I haven't rubbed it all in yet, but you can see that it just leaves these big streak marks, which is something we are trying to avoid. Now with your fingers, you end up getting just not as even as a coverage as you would with a brush. So it's definitely not terrible. Like, I mean, if that's all you have, it'll work. It's just, like I said, the coverage isn't as even, and you can cause some exfoliation with your hands. So now I'm going to put it on the back of my hand, and then I'm going to be going in with the It's Cosmetic brush, and I'm just going to dab that all over my skin. So I like to just kind of go back and forth between like a small buffing motion and just a gentle stippling motion. And just like I did on the other side, I'm just going to go in and add just a little bit more to add just a little bit more coverage. Okay, now I'm going to go in with the LA Girl Pro Concealer. I'll just apply a dab of it. And that was really dark, and I've become a lot more light in this winter, so I'm just going to be taking a little bit of the Bye Bye Under Eye It's Cosmetics Illuminating, and I'm just going to be putting that on as well. So with this side, again, I'll be going in with my brush and just buffing everything together. Okay, and then on this side, I'm just going to be rubbing it in with my finger. I'm not even sure how to do this with just my fingers. Okay, so I'm going to set my face with a little bit of powder. And on the brush side, just lightly dusting that over. And then I'm just applying it on my hand. And in all honesty, I mean, this is going better than I thought. I definitely prefer the brushes because I find that it's just easier to apply and I don't end up with makeup all over my hands, but it's not looking too shabby. But now we're going to get into the part that I'm a little bit scared to do. So for the brush side, I'm just going to be taking some blush and applying that on my cheeks. Okay, so now I'm just going to rub my fingers in here. It's probably not the most sanitary thing in the world. And go in with some bronzer. And this is the Bahama Mama bronzer. And I'm just going to take that on a fluffy brush and brush that in a C shape. And as you can tell, with everything I do, I have to work so much harder with my fingers. Everything just looks more patchy. Okay, so now I'm going to move on to my eyebrows. So I'm going to be going in with the Anastasia Dip Brow Gel. And I said that I would do an update on this gel between the NYX gel, so I'm just going to talk about that briefly right now. The reason I decided I like the Anastasia Dip Brow Gel is, which is silly, but it's kind of the same reasons I didn't like it in the beginning. And with it being so pigmented, I use a lot less product. So I feel like it ends up saving me money because I need like a fourth amount of the product that I did with the NYX. And another thing is that the NYX formula is really dry, which I know I said I liked because it felt more like a powder. But as I've messed with both of them more, I feel like the NYX would just dry out way faster. And I feel like the Anastasia is creamy enough that if you just kind of apply it on the back of your hand to shear out that product and then apply it on your brows, it just goes on pretty effortlessly. So now I'm going to go in and I'm going to take a little bit of this on my ring finger. This is a little bit terrifying. with my finger side, this is the brow, and then with the brush. And on a nice fluffy blending brush, I'm going to apply that in my crease. And then I'm going to take a clean fluffy blending brush and just blend it into my other eyeshadows. And then take a little bit of the color Tempera to blend those together. And then I'm going to go in with that same blending brush and I'm going to apply a little bit of red ochre in my crease. Okay, and then I'm going to take the color Primavera and just pack that on. Now with shimmery shades is the one thing that I do like to use my finger because I find that it applies the most amount of product. Now I'm just going to do the same thing to the other side. I'm going to be starting with the color Warm Taupe, applying that in my crease. Well, attempting to apply it in my crease, but my finger's too big. I'm just going to blend that out with my pinky. And then taking the color Tempera, and then taking the color Primavera, and then taking just a little bit of the shade Red Ochre, okay, so I'm going to go back in with the color Warm Taupe, kind of try to gradually work that up, and then the color Tempera. And then I'm just going to get my fingers and try to take off that side part, and then put a little bit more of Tempera on there again. So now I'm going to go in with eyeliner, which, I don't know, we shall see. So I'm going to be taking the e.l.f. black liner. And then I'm going to take a little bit of that and apply waterline. Going to do the same thing to the other side. Honestly, I'm just not even sure how to do this. So I'm going to take a tiny bit on my finger, try to apply that. So I'm going to stretch my eye out. Okay, it's pretty awful, but I mean, it could be worse. Oh, well, that's not going to work. You put a tiny bit of shadow underneath. So I'm going to take the color Red Ochre and just apply a little bit of shadow underneath. And just work it into the eye and underneath. Okay, and then I'm just going to do the same thing to the other side using my finger. So this is the final look. And I mean, I did my makeup quickly, so it's not like this side is just completely flawless and perfect. I'm not saying that, but having brushes does make a difference because you have more distinct fine tools. There's this one that has kind of a rounded, pointed tip, and then there's this one that's really just fluffy, kind of flat. This is more of an eyeliner or brow brush that's very defined, and just our fingers are, as you can see, there's all sorts of makeup on them, but our fingers are kind of, you know, chubby and rounded, and they're great for some things, don't get me wrong. A lot of things in makeup just can't be achieved the same way just using our fingers. I hope that this helped you in kind of realizing the difference that brushes can make. I mean, it makes it kind of everything blend a little bit more seamlessly, and there's a reason that they exist. So I hope that this helped you and kind of see the difference. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a good day. Bye.